Hey guys! So today's video is going to be on my experience with Topdeck, or what is Topdeck really like, or what to expect on Topdeck. Any of those things. I can't really decide what it's going to be, but that's what it's going to be. I'd also just want to say that if I could find a video like this when I was about to go on a tour, it would have been really great and really helpful. At the time, I could never really find anything like this or anything that really answered what I wanted to find out or what worries I had. And I had a little search myself as well to see if there was anything like this now, but I couldn't really see anything. Before I went on a Topdeck tour, I was really indecisive about whether I should go on one or not. I couldn't really decide whether I wanted to do the trip sort of all planned by myself or going on a tour. So I hope this video helps you to decide what you want to do. I also am just going to say this is probably going to be quite a long video. I just have a lot to cover because there was a lot of aspects of the trip because it was a long trip and there's lots of things to talk about. So if you're interested, please keep watching because it will be really helpful if you do want to hear about it. So first I just want to give you a basic overview of what my tour was. I went in May 2 years ago and I went with my best friend Lily. We went on the Europe Uncovered tour, which I will link below. At the time, it was a 22-day tour and it went to France, Switzerland, Monaco, Italy, Vatican City, Croatia, Slovenia, Austria, Czech Republic, Germany, Netherlands, and Belgium. Did I say England? Oh, also it started in England and ended in England. We didn't actually go to England on the trip, we went separately by ourselves. So we met everyone in Paris instead and then left in the Netherlands. We didn't actually go to Belgium. Anyway, yeah, so at the time when we paid for it, it was $3,800, but we actually got it on sale for $3,400, so we got a really good deal. But at the moment, it is $4,500 to $5,300. So it depending on what time of the year you go. So it's actually like gone up in price by a lot of money, like $2,000 nearly. I can't believe how much in 2 years something can go up, like it's just ridiculous. The first thing you're probably wondering is it for couples or is it for singles? We went with Topdeck because we didn't really want to go with Kentucky because we both had boyfriends and we weren't really into the whole let's get effed up every night and like hook up with the people and like have all these 18-year-olds because we were 20 at the time. We were really into that scene and we wanted just to be, meet some people. And so our tour was actually full of couples. There was 50 of us and pretty much everyone was a couple, like boyfriend, girlfriend. There's only maybe 5 or 6 people who came on their own, and then there was a couple of us who were just there with like 2 friends. So it was me, Lily, and then 2 other girls who we made really good friends with, and then I think one other couple were just friends as well. So ours was a majority like couples trip. We also picked hotels over the hostels, mainly because at the time, I don't know, I just wasn't. When I thought of hostels, I was probably a bit like, oh, gross. But now I'm a bit more open-minded. I would definitely say, I've never stayed in a hostel, but I'm definitely all for hostels now. Because we did pick hotels or hostels, that's probably why we had more couples, because they probably want their privacy, so yeah. So next is hotels slash accommodation on the trip. And a lot of things I would question to myself would be, are they safe? Are they in dodgy areas? Are they clean? Are they, like what are they going to be like? Because we actually searched a few hotels because they tell you all the hotels that you're going to be staying at, and a lot of them had really bad reviews. Like one in Croatia actually had like there's bugs in the food and there's bed bugs and there's this and there's that and that's horrible. So we're actually really scared before we went, like, oh my god, it's going to be so gross, oh yuck. But my advice would be don't do that, just go there and find out for yourself when you get there, because it's actually not even as bad as you think it's going to be. So yeah, at the end of the day, when we actually got to these hotels, the one in Croatia was a little bit nicer than some of the other ones we went to. There was nothing bad about it. Next is meals and food. So I'm pretty sure all the breakfasts were provided, and it's usually just a continental breakfast with like cold meats and cheese and stuff and cereal and bread. Nothing too fancy. There was never really eggs. Food's food. So I think about half the nights we were there, about 12 of the nights, you got dinner provided. So I'm assuming obviously in the cost you've already sort of paid for that. Some of the meals were a bit like meh because you can't really choose and it's a bit of a set menu, and some of them were a bit like it takes away that sort of authentic feel to go somewhere local. It's all a bit sort of touristy done, I sort of feel like. But it's good because it gives you exposure to foods that you may have not known about or tried. So the one we went to in Austria, or Salzburg, was really, really nice because we got to try veal schnitzel, which is like a traditional dish over there. I don't know, is it? And sauerkraut. So you get to try those things that you may not try while you're there. You might not know about that's a local dish. I don't know. We actually got to try apple strudel as well. So you do get an exposure to those foods without having to sort of think of it yourself. But then you also don't really get a lot of freedom because it's already been organized, and like you don't have to go and have dinner with them. You don't have to, but it's like you've sort of paid for it and it will be free. Like you don't have to take out of your spending money. And the next thing, bus and travel time. Now a lot of people are like, you know, how long am I going to be on the bus? Is it really boring? So I think that's a big thing that people worry about with these tours, because you know, you're moving to so many different countries and you're on the bus quite a lot. Do you get to see the city and the places as much as you think you're going to see? You are on the bus quite a lot, probably like half the time, but by law they actually have to, like within like 8 hours, they actually have to stop for like three times. So we used to have 2 15-minute breaks and then a half an hour break. So obviously morning tea, afternoon tea, lunchtime. In Europe, they're like restaurants, the places you stop off at, most of them, or some of them. And some of them you can actually have like a full-on cooked meal at, and it's actually really, really nice. It's not like the ones here in Australia where it's just like packets of chips and lollies and that's it. Some of them have full-on restaurants, and even if they don't, they have like really nice, like it's like a food court even, or they have really nice cafes and stuff like that. So because you've got those little breaks in between quite often, it actually makes it go quite quickly. Also, you're on a whole bus with all these people, so you're chatting and talking, and the tour guide, she actually does like games with you and everything. So in the morning you might sleep, it'll be like sleeping sort of, everyone just relaxes because they've gotten up so early to get on the bus, and then we might play some games on the bus and get to know each other. And then she also talks about the next place we're going to, so she might go over the history and everything, which I really enjoyed. A lot of people are like, oh my god, it's so boring, but I actually really enjoyed like sitting there listening to her about where we're going and learning about it. And then also you can read a book, you can, you know, entertain yourself, and then before you know it, you're already there. And also you're looking out the window, looking at the amazing scenery that you probably wouldn't have seen if you were on a plane. And most cities you stayed there 2 nights, so you'd arrive at like 5 o'clock-ish, and then go out that night, have the whole next day, a full day there, the next day, and then stay that night, and then you'd get up and go on the bus again the next morning. So really you only get 2 nights, 1 day. And most cities were like that. There was only a few cities where it was only 1 night, and that would be like you'd have 1 night, 1 day, or maybe even half a day. So you don't get a lot of time, but the tour guide gives you like a little map and all the things you can do and stuff like that. So you're not sort of thinking, oh, what do I do? I've got no time, I've got to like organise myself. And you can go and ask her, the tour guide, and they'll be able to tell you what to do and how to get there and everything. So to get the most out of your day. And also making friends. A lot of people ask, you know, will I make friends on the trip? Are they going to be friendly? You know, I'm going by myself, I'm really worried, like all that sort of stuff. I can't really comment on going by myself, obviously, because I went with one of my best friends, but we really wanted to make friends with everyone else as well. Obviously, we don't want to just hang out with each other. So most of our tour was full of couples anyway, but there was a few people that were there by themselves, but they made friends amongst each other as well, and everyone made friends with everyone. Like we used to just hang out, all of us, and everyone was just really great friends with each other. Like we weren't really very cliquey or anything like that. Me and Lily made really good friends with 2 other girls, which I think I mentioned just before, and we hung out with them the whole trip. Oh, and also there was another girl as well. If you're watching this video, you know who you are. So we were like the awesome five-some. But everyone on the trip was so friendly and so nice, and no one was like, there was no one in there that you just like hated and you were like, oh my god, don't hang out with us. Everyone loved each other, I think. Well, I did. I also just want to touch on the tour guide as well, because our tour guide was amazing. Her name was Emily, and she was amazeballs. But yeah, she was really, really helpful, really loved her job, and you could tell she really enjoyed what she was doing. Like I said earlier, she would go over on the bus like the history and everything about the next city we were going to, so we really knew what we were seeing when we went there and why things were there, and like it just gives it so much more of a perspective when you go to a city and you know all the history about it. It just really makes you think. It just makes it so much more amazing. Wanted to know how to get to a certain thing somewhere, she would tell you how to get there. Yeah, she was just really, really helpful and just a great tour guide to have. When you book the tour, you'll get a little list of these other extras that you can do, but you have to pay extra for them. I pretty much did all of them except for the like paragliding in Switzerland, because I just don't do heights. I think I'd poop myself. That's the only thing I didn't do, and that was actually quite expensive. I think the thing that we thought of was, are they worth the money? Like, do we want to pay this extra money on top of the tour to do these things, go and see these things? Because pretty much all of them were worth it. Yeah, so one of the things that I thought was really worth the money was going on a bike tour around Amsterdam. And at first I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. That sounds really scary. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna get hit by a bus. I feel like an idiot. Like, I don't know. And then like when I got there, everyone was doing it, and I was like, okay, I have to do it then. Peer pressure, but in a good way. And then it was like the most funnest thing we did when we were there. Like, I had so much fun. Like, such an awesome way to see the city. So I say that is definitely worth the money. Now, last thing I want to talk about is it good value for money? Is it better to go solo or go on a trip? I feel like it's quite expensive, really, and now that it's $2,000 more, it's even more expensive. Everything's sort of organised and done for you. I mean, the coach tour and the transport's sort of already done for you. You don't have to pay for flights, you don't have to pay for a train. You get lots of meals provided, you get all the hotels provided. So it probably is quite good value for money for someone who doesn't want to organise anything. It's all done ready for you. All you have to think about is spending money. You could probably do it a lot cheaper by yourself for longer. I think that the Topdeck tour was great for people who are travelling by themselves for the first time. If you're young, like, you know, if you're someone who hasn't really travelled before, you haven't really travelled by yourself. But then again, you only get to see snippets of some cities. It is very fast paced, and I feel like it's very go, photo, look at this, look at that, da 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 da. Like, it's just very, like, you don't even get to absorb where you are and like take it all in, because you're so obsessed with like, I've got to take photos because I'm not going to be able to come back here because we're leaving tomorrow, and it's like, and I've got to eat this and I've got to do that. Like, it's very like fast paced. I look back at that trip and I think I don't even remember some of it because it just went so freaking quickly. I feel like we did it just a bit too much in a short span of time. So I would definitely not go on a tour like this again, because it's just, I want to have the freedom of being able to just do what I want, which obviously I'm going to be doing very soon. So yeah, that concludes my video. I hope I haven't rambled on too much. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope it's helped you if you are going on a tour soon, or if you're a bit indecisive about whether you want to go on a tour. I really enjoyed filming this video. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you really enjoyed it, and also subscribe, which I'll put somewhere below here, I don't know. And also comment below what you think of these tours, Kentucky Topdeck tours, and if you really enjoy them, or if you prefer to do it yourself, or if you have any other questions that I didn't answer in the video, please put them below. So make sure you stay tuned for more videos to come every Thursday. What is this? And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!